I didn't talk about my postpartum hair loss for a long time, but I think it's time. If you're going through it now, I want you to feel less alone, and I want to share what truly helped me. So, with that said, I have some notes here that I'm going to be referencing so I'm able to stay organized and just hit some topics on the subject. So, when did the shedding start? For me, with my first child, it happened at 6 months postpartum. I started noticing just more hair starting to fall out. It got to the point where I had massive chunks of hair falling out of the shower, like literally chunks the size of my hand. I have pictures, I'll insert them. I remember being completely freaked out, and I feel like the worst part was I started getting massive tangles also, like huge mats in the back of my hair. I remember being so freaked out because I would try to comb it and it would just make it worse. And I was so scared because I was like, is is all of my hair going to fall out? So I dreaded my wash days. I dreaded having to comb or detangle my hair because it just seemed like it was all falling out. So what did not work? Well, clearly the routine that I had didn't work. I was afraid to comb my hair. I was afraid to wash my hair in the shower because all I could think about was it falling out. And I remember at the time there was no chat GPT. I hadn't even thought to go see a dermatologist. It was kind of like one of those things where I just like dealt with it. And I remember even during one of my postpartum doctor visits, I brought that up to my doctor and I said, I'm like losing all of my hair. What is happening? And I was so discouraged because he completely brushed me off and made it seem like, it's normal, which obviously, like, we know that postpartum hair shedding or hair loss is normal, but I felt like what I was experiencing was 100% not normal. So if you are going through it right now, and what I would tell myself then, if I could go back and tell myself what I know now, I would tell myself that preparation is key. I would just tell myself, like, hey, girl, this is your first time having a child. Ask for the help. For me, I had the help. I realized that that's not the case for everyone. Like I was saying, just reach out to my husband more and just ask him for help. Tell him, hey, can we figure out something to where I'm able to just leave to sleep? Or maybe he's leaving with baby, or asking my mom or my mother-in-law to come over while I caught up on sleep. And for whatever reason, I wouldn't do that again. I would definitely ask for help and give myself grace that I don't know it all. And that was hard for me because I feel like I'm so controlling by nature. I want what I want, and if I can just manage it, then I know it's going to get done the way that I want to. I know. I know there's just some things that it's like, girl, let it go. Get some help. If you're able to get the help, then get the help. My first pregnancy, what likely went wrong that caused so much hair shedding? I took some notes. So I 100% was not washing regularly because when I would wash, I felt like I was going to walk out of the shower bald. So I didn't. It was a struggle. I didn't do scalp massages. I wouldn't detangle my hair. It was up and out of the way most of the time. And I genuinely was not combing or brushing it out the way that I typically do. Another thing is I definitely had a lot of stress. My cortisol was certainly elevated. I had no idea what I was doing, first time mom. And it's also very possible that my iron could have been low. I didn't have a panel done postpartum, but that's something that I've wondered about. So maybe if you are during those early postpartum stages, you get a full blood panel done, you check your iron, you also check ferritin. And ferritin is a protein which serves to store iron in the tissues. So if that's low, you definitely want to know. Detangling consistently, I was not. I was also sleeping with loose hair. I did not braid my hair at night. I did not use a silk or satin pillowcase. I did not use my current silk scrunchies. I kind of just slept. And it's not that I didn't care about my hair situation, I just didn't think that my negligence of it would cause so much hair shedding. So fast forward ish 2 years to my second pregnancy, and I did start seeing postpartum hair loss maybe like 4 months to 5 months after, and it was not as bad. I mean, I still did shed a lot, but I would say that it was nowhere near as bad as it was the first time. Also, I did not get the crazy mats or the tangles behind my hair or even like the lower parts of my hair. Thank God I did not experience that or see that the second time around. And I definitely felt like the second time around I was just more experienced. I self-cared a lot more, and early on I started pelvic floor therapy pretty soon after my second baby was born, and I definitely feel like that helped manage a lot of pain, a lot of stress, which if you are a postpartum mom and you have not considered pelvic floor therapy, please, I implore you to do so. If there's one thing that I wish every single mom would do is pelvic floor therapy. Just trust me on this one. It will change your life. You learn how to start activating your core muscles post-baby, whether that's been through a C-section or vaginal delivery. I would say do that. I also did it my first time, but I started like 6 months postpartum and I was already losing half of my hair at that point. And so with my second one, I started physical therapy right away. I also was washing my hair a lot more frequently, and I was detangling it. I was doing braids. I was putting it up in loose buns while I slept. I was sleeping in a satin pillowcase at the time. I would say that there was more gentle handling of my hair the second time around, which is why I didn't see that crazy tangling, matting situation that I had the first time. Also, for sure, my nutrition was on point. I was definitely drinking a lot of water. I was eating my protein. You need protein. You need nutritious, wholesome foods. So, what I've learned postpartum is that shedding is unfortunately normal. However, the matting, the tangles, that's mechanical. That you can definitely have some say in. So let's get into that next. You can't always control the shedding, but you can control how the shed is managed. So my husband and I are in talks of our third baby. So what I'm going to do differently this time around is when I get a full blood panel done, I'll obviously check iron levels. And I remember my second pregnancy, my iron was good. I had no deficiencies. I'll continue to optimize protein intake. That is like non-negotiable for me. And I'll also strengthen stress regulation habits. And by that, I mean, what are you doing for yourself? Are you going to the gym? Are you cycling? Are you going for daily walks? Are you going to brunch with your girlfriends? Are you having your date nights with your spouse, your significant other? How are you managing that stress? You definitely want to do something to help manage your cortisol. So if you haven't picked up some type of exercise, I would start there. Right now, I'm working out about 4 times a week. I run once to twice a week. I go on regular walks with my kiddos. That's a little bit of what I'm doing to manage some of my stress. That is something I'm definitely not skimping out on. My third pregnancy, I was also doing that my second pregnancy too. My first pregnancy, I was, but I had sciatica, and there was a point where I just wanted nothing to do with walking or the gym. Maybe you should have tried swimming. It's not high impact on your body, so maybe that could have been something I would have changed for my first pregnancy. So the high triggers of hair shedding is cortisol dysregulation, nutrient depletion, and poor scalp environment. What I'm going to be doing for this next pregnancy, I am going to maintain my iron and protein intake, water, all the good things, healthy, wholesome foods. I am not skimping out on my scalp massages. I'll be doing those 2 to 3 times a week. And I will definitely be avoiding very tight tension hairstyles. I know that they are cute. I know that the slick backs are so cute, but I would just be mindful of how often you're doing them and how tight you're squeezing your scalp. I'm also going to keep up with my regular wash routine and my detangling routine. I will be detangling with some type of a leave-in conditioner or detangler. I will probably not be doing any dry hair combing during the peak of hair shedding. And I'm definitely going to be continuing to braid my hair or a ponytail, all using satin scrunchies. And when I do a bun, I use these small little clips just on the side to gently secure my little bun in place. One thing I didn't realize the first time around is that shed hair accumulates. So I think the reason why I was getting those massive mats or knots in my hair is because I wasn't detangling, I wasn't washing frequently. So when my hair was falling out, it was getting caught in my hair, like twisting and knotting itself. So I ended up with a worse situation because I was not regularly washing and detangling. I know that the hair washing kind of seems counterintuitive because you think, okay, well, if I maybe wash my hair less, I'm not touching it as often, it won't fall because I'm not touching it. But the delay is what caused the disaster for me. Postpartum hair shedding is hormonal. Postpartum matting is mechanical. What happens postpartum and why does our hair even fall out? So estrogen keeps our hair in the growth phase during pregnancy. After we give birth, estrogen drops. Then hair enters into the shedding phase, and this peaks around 3 to 6 months postpartum, and it's called telogen or telogen effluvium. I think that's how you pronounce it. What I did wrong the first time. I washed too infrequently. I let shed hair accumulate. I had high stress, and there's a possibility I had low iron and not enough protein intake. The difference for my second pregnancy is that I was less stressed. My iron was perfect. I remember I had a blood panel done and my iron was good. I had more awareness of, I guess, just managing being a mom. And I also had less hair accumulation because I was detangling, I was washing frequently. Postpartum shedding does not equal permanent hair loss. It's temporary. Your follicles are not dying, but there are certainly things that you can do to help. If you feel like your hair shedding is extreme, I would schedule an appointment with your doctor. Make sure that your ferritin levels are normal or within range. And if they're not, then get that taken care of. If you are experiencing postpartum hair shedding right now and you have any specific questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will do my best to explain or talk about my experiences with you in hopes to help you navigate through your journey. I'll see you all in the next one.